Hey yo, welcome to another edition of Hey Yo with D Shelton. I'm the host of this show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, Delrico Shelton. As always, we are sponsored by Roll Sweets LLC. That's Roll Sweets LLC, the best cake pops and cupcakes in the DMV area. Please look at them on Facebook and the good old Instagram at roll underscore sweets underscore LLC, and roll is spelled RO. Also, I'd like to thank Riverside.fm for providing me the platform to give this to you on Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you can get your podcast. And please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D Shelton. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D Shelton. If you're looking for me, I am on the good old TikTok at Hey Yo exclamation point with D Shelton. And you can find me at Blue Sky at Hey Yo D Shelton dot BSKY dot social. This is a little special episode. I will more than likely be giving you all something at least twice a week. As you know, I usually will do a podcast once a week, normally after the Dallas Cowboys play. But by popular demand, you all must really like a brother. You say, okay, we want to hear you more than just the one time, especially in these times where everything is so political and things of that nature. There's so much discourse, and well, you already know what the fuck going on. Let me just be perfectly clear. You already know. I will talk about Donald Trump's cabinet picks as I'm recording this as of right now, which is November 21st. Matt Gaetz has dropped out of becoming Attorney General for Donald Trump, which honestly is probably the best thing. Well, I know it's the best thing because more likely he wasn't going to. There's so many. He's had so much bad blood, even with his own party. So who knows? But it looks like he elected Pam Bondi, who, if I recall correctly, and maybe I'm wrong, I think she was on his defense team. I do know she was the Attorney General of Florida, though. So it does make sense to actually have someone who, dare I say, did somewhat of the duties. I will talk about Little McMahon. Not gonna get into that. Um, what I will get into though is what I stated in previous podcasts when I talk politics, policies, things like that. It's gonna be more the black side of things, if you get my drift. As you can hear my voice, I am a black man. As you can see on the screen, I am a black man. I am a black man born in America. Yes, you have to know the difference. Once again, look at old Malcolm X speeches. But what I want to get into, this is probably going to be a short one. And what I want to get into is kind of technically on the sports side, but to be honest, it's more political than you think. I want to get into Mr. Primetime. You know him, you love him. But most people I've seen, especially in mass media and sports media, hate him. His name is Deion Sanders, former all-world cornerback for the Atlanta Falcons, Dallas Cowboys, San Francisco 49ers, then Washington Redskins, and retired as a Baltimore Raven. He is arguably, in some eyes, not in mine, he is the greatest cornerback of all time. If you want to say athletes, he's one of the best athletes, period, of all time. So why am I talking about this? Mainly because of the hate this man has been getting. Seems like as soon as he came out of Florida State. And for my white subscribers and listeners and things, I want you to sit back and have a cold one. Because I'm going to explain some things that you may not even knew about yourself deep down. Deion Sanders was an all pro for seems like forever. But the main thing, he was always brash, cocky, and let's be real, that rubbed some people the wrong way. It rubbed people the wrong way when he was in Florida State. It rubbed some people the wrong way when he was in the NFL. And it's really showing his ugly head when it comes to coaching. Let me kind of go back to history with something. Okay. Deion was an All-American at Florida State. That's right, All-American. He let me go here. He only played 3 years at Florida State. He won the Jim Thorpe Award as a senior, but technically 4 years if you want to get technical. He was the fifth overall pick in the 1989 draft by the Atlanta Falcons. The Georgia Dome, as Deion Sanders pretty much kind of joked with, said the Georgia Dome was built because of Deion. You can't argue with it because if I remember, they played outdoors before Deion came. But Deion was such a phenomenon that it was like, damn, people came to see Deion play, whether good or bad. Now, I know what you're saying. Come to see a man play. He's not a quarterback. Exactly my point. You've never seen a cornerback shut down half the field. That's how good he was. You can say he shut down corners. That term is so misinterpreted. Deion was the shutdown corner. Once again, fifth overall. He came in with a jerry curl that he says it was dry. It looked wet, but it was dry. Okay. No harm, no fame. No harm, no foul. Oh, Deion also is in the Pro Football Hall of Fame and the College Football Hall of Fame, both in 2011. You see where I'm correlating this? He also played 9 seasons in Major League Baseball with the Yankees, the Atlanta Braves, which he's pretty much most known for, the Cincinnati Reds, and the San Francisco 49ers. He is one of the few players that I think he's, now let me correct myself, I think he's the only player to play in the Super Bowl and a World Series. Let that sink in. He's so good as an athlete. He played in the Super Bowl, won 2, and made a World Series appearance. The only athlete to do that feat. He also was a kick returner when absolutely necessary. Matter of fact, the first time he actually touched the football on a punt return, if not touched, period, he took it to the house. Damn. See, the problem is that I've seen when he played, he was brash, he was cocky, but everybody loved it because he said there's Deion Sanders which is his home life, and then there's prime time, which is his persona when he steps on the football field. And because he was the best corner once again that I've ever seen, he had some hate, but mostly people love Deion. He went into being a football analyst for a little bit of time, but he actually coached his sons in football. The reason why he coached his sons in football, Shador and Shiloh, is mainly because, if I recall correctly, the coaches that were coaching them didn't know what the hell they were doing. Okay. So what I'm saying is there's a reason for him doing what he does. Basically, he stepped into coaching because of his boys. Now, let's kind of fast forward because he ended up being the offensive coordinator of all things at Trinity Christian High School in Texas, mainly for Shador, his all-American, soon-to-be all-American quarterback. That's his boy. More likely, Shador Sanders will be a top 5 pick in this year's coming NFL draft. Why am I mentioning this? Because he took his brashness and his confidence to coaching. When he left high school, right, he, if I recall, interviewed for the Florida State University job. He was turned down. Ironically, his alma mater said no. So he ended up coaching at historical black university, Jackson State University. If I recall, Jackson State is the home of Walter Payton, another Hall of Famer. Rest in peace, Walter. And you know what happened? He started to win. Yeah, he started to win. Matter of fact, remember when we were in COVID? His team finished that year, that COVID year, 4-3 in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And mass media, sports media in particular, wanted Deion to fail. Because at that point, they could get some sort of payback on when he was a player, and he shunned a lot of media. He did. He didn't mind criticism. Don't get personal. As media started to get more and more personal, would encounter players, as you see today. Now, the next following year, 2021, with Jackson State, 11-2, he won the SWAC. Matter of fact, he just didn't win the SWAC. He finished perfect 8-0. Now, he lost the Celebration Bowl, which is the Black National Championship, 22-19. I can't remember offhand, but it doesn't matter. 11-2, nationally ranked, 8-0. The next following year, 2022, he lost one game, 12-1. Once again, 8-0 in the SWAC for, once again, historical black college. 8-0 again. The one loss, The Celebration Bowl, again, the national championship game. That's between the Southwestern Athletic Conference and the MEAC. Okay? What I'm saying is that that was already established. So at Jackson State, he finished 27-6. Not only did he finish 27-6 at Jackson State, there were more eyes on HBCUs to the fact that ESPN started broadcasting games. Mass media, let me be frank, white sports media didn't like that. Matter of fact, First Take with Stephen A. Smith came to Jackson State, if I recall correctly. But the big one was College Game Day. Went to Jackson State. College Game Day is the premier pre-game show of all college football. All of college football. Went to Jackson State before the Jackson State game. Mass media, sports media, let's say white media, didn't like that because they don't like Deion. Why? Because let's be real, he's unapologetically himself. Now, the Florida State job, it is what it is, right? But Jackson State technically didn't give Deion the resources that he needed. Deion actually used money out of his own pocket for uniforms, for helping with the facilities, as a partnership with the athletic director at Jackson State. But as things get a little bigger, Power 5, then, now Power 4, conference started to look at Deion. One in particular, University of Colorado. University of Colorado hit rock bottom, hard times. Hard fucking times. Matter of fact, before Deion got there, they only won one game. 1-11. Arguably the worst team in college football. High level college football, I should say. The FBC, which we used to call Division 1A. But Deion being Deion, he took the job because he said, and I could be paraphrasing, God led him to take this job to help young men. Now, hate started right there, not just from mass media, but from minor media, which is HBCU football media. He didn't finish the job. He did what he was supposed to do. He got eyes on it. To this day, right now, you see more black college football games on ESPN and their platform than ever before. Deion did that. But certain coaches in the SWAC said he wasn't SWAC. He wasn't part of this life. He did his job. He got eyes on you. Now revenue starting to come in, which before, and Deion said this openly out of his mouth, smart business. Why would we go to, let's say, Alabama to get our butts whooped for $500,000? That $500,000 gets spent almost immediately because you're gonna want the band, you're gonna want the cheerleaders, The team itself, overall, you might be actually in the negative by getting your ass whooped. So certain things with HBCUs have started to change. No one wants to give Deion credit for that. If I'm gonna come take an ass whooping, you're gonna pay me more than this 500,000. You're gonna pay me a couple million. That could actually fund the athletic department. Deion said that. Deion started that. So when he left Jackson State, the hate was ballooning. One, because he was winning and people didn't like that. Again, he's brash. He's cocky. He's arrogant. So he decides, once again, he takes a job at the University of Colorado. He says in his brash and bold self, we're coming. Especially after they finished, if I recall, at first, it was either 2-0 or 3-0. We're coming. Well, the first season, they sucked. After those first couple of games, the Buffs finished 4-8. 1-8 in the conference. Then the Pac-12 conference. As a matter of fact, the University of Oregon's coach, I can't remember his name offhand, said we do this not for clicks, taking a direct shot at Deion. Deion took that in stride. He said, okay, I ain't get my horses yet. I ain't get them yet. But mainstream media, sports media, I should say, constantly picked on him, picked on his sons, to the point that Shiloh Sanders, if I not recall, filed bankruptcy because Deion is being a father. I'm not going to bail you out of a situation that you caused yourself. It's good parenting. A lot of parents should practice that. And Deion is a multi-millionaire. He's only getting paid $5 million a year for University of Colorado. He made that in his NFL career 50 times over, especially with sponsorship. By the way, he's still getting sponsors. As you see with Affleck. I think he has his own talk show on Tubi now. You know, I want to say it's almonds or pistachios, something like that you see him on. So he's getting his endorsements still. And if I recall, the man is 59 years old. And he's charismatic and electrifying. Don't worry, I'm getting to where I'm going. Let's fast forward to this particular season right now. Colorado Buffaloes are 8-2. Quick turnaround. 2 years. They're eligible for a bowl. If they win out, they could be in the Big 12 championship because the Pac-12 basically is no more. And the Big 12 conference is established. And right now they're 6-1 in the conference. If they win out, like I said, Big 12 championship game. If they win that, they're in the college football playoffs. But they still are picking on Deion to the point that the best college football player in the nation, I'm not even mentioning his son, like I said, who's going to be a top 5 pick, probably the number 1 quarterback taken in this year's NFL draft. We're talking Travis Hunter, a dynamic not 2-star. That's another thing. Also, let me talk about Travis. They started to hate on him also because Travis Hunter trusted Deion and went to an HBCU where he could have went to Florida State, Georgia, all these other power schools. So Deion, depending on the rating, Travis is either 1 or 2 in the nation when he came out as a freshman. So the hate was there. What is he doing? And this before everybody started getting this NIL money that you see as of today. Now, Travis Hunter plays not only cornerback, which honestly speaking, um, he's learning from the best corner of all time. But no. He's also playing wide receiver. Travis Hunter pretty much averages 100 snaps a game. I say it again, 100 snaps per game. And from reports, he may be entering the draft, the NFL draft, after this season over. Now, this is how dynamic Travis is. This is just this season. The season ain't even over with. He has 74 catches for 911 yards and 9 touchdowns, averaging 12.3 per completion. That's his offensive stats. Do you understand that? I want to say he has like 4 picks this year. If I recall correctly. I'm trying to find it right now. And it's not letting me get his defensive stats for some damn reason. All of a sudden. There we go. 23 tackles. 3 picks. Two-way star. They hate, and mass media is hating on Deion so much because they don't like him because he's brash, he's bold, he's unapologetically himself, that they are possibly willing not to give this young man the Heisman Trophy. Let me say that again. They're going to try to punish a kid to get at Deion because he took Travis, who was, like I said, the number 1 or number 2 player in the country, to a HBCU. And because again, he's bold, he's brash, he's unapologetically himself. Loves God, takes care of his family, a pillar in the community. As you saw, if you haven't seen it, there's a University of Colorado Buffalo superfan by the name of Peggy who turned 100 years old. Bless her heart. And the whole stadium sung happy birthday to her. Not only did that, he has had Peggy in his locker room. He has shown Peggy, and he actually had Peggy in his press conference after this last game. He's a pillar of the community. He's uplifted Boulder, Colorado like no other. Now, what am I getting at? And why am I talking about this? Because he's black. See, if you are black, first off, black coaches in the highest level of college football, they're rare. That's part 1. Part 2, he knows how to talk to these kids. They don't like that. See, they want a status quo. They want you to be buttoned up and talk a certain way. Why does he have to wear chains? Why does he have to wear a cowboy hat? Why does he have to wear cowboy boots at times? Why does he have to have Prime on the sleeve of his shirt or t-shirt or sweatshirt or hoodie? Because he's unapologetically him. See, this notion of college football, the Newt Rockneys and what I'm saying, the Bear Bryans, even to the Nick Sabans, you gotta be a certain way. You gotta do it a certain way. You gotta have a certain style. Deion is him. He's always been him. And what I mean him, I mean the best. What am I kind of getting towards? This is microaggressions at its finest. Because this actually deals with black people in this country throughout history. It ain't about him coaching University of Colorado. You dislike Deion because he's black, he's broad, and he does and says what he wants to do. He struts. And one thing I've noticed about America, when a successful black man struts, they don't like it. Why can't he be humble? Why can't he strut? Why can't he be himself? See, the whole thing is why black people have to be humble for you to feel comfortable. Don't let my confidence irritate your demons. I'm going to say that again. Don't let my confidence irritate your demons. That's really what this is about. See, the University of Colorado, you might well say, is Black America's college football team. Let me say that again. It's Black America's college football team. To the point that he has athletes, former athletes like Terrell Owens, Chad Ochocinco, Shannon Sharp. Heck, if I remember correctly, Stephen A. Smith and First Take came back to Boulder, Colorado. All eyes are on Deion and the University of Colorado. Have you noticed this football season that the SEC, which normally is the most dominant college football conference, is second fiddle to Deion and the University of Colorado? University of Colorado is on TV every week. Every week. Surprising, huh? I'm trying to find something real quick that I know I saved because it was surprising, but not surprising. You know, Deion flipped one of the best quarterbacks in the nation today. That's why they hate him too. Because now kids aren't just going to go to Georgia or Alabama or Florida State or Penn State or Ohio State or Michigan. No, they're looking at the University of Colorado. Why? Because Deion's there. I'm gonna play something. This is courtesy of the Pat McAfee show. Okay? This happened today. You don't believe me? Want to hear? Here you go.
Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Julian Juju Lewis will be playing football for whom next year, brother?
I will be continuing my athletic and academic career at
Here we go, full speed.
The University of Colorado.
Okay, congratulations. We're incredibly proud of you. We're pumped for you that you were able to make this decision. Now, obviously, this is going to be huge news, not only in Colorado, not only in the Big 12, but the NFL is going to have to talk about this as well because of all the storylines surrounding Coach Prime and whatever.
I'm going to stop it right there because that was going to my next point. Julian Lewis 5-star recruit, decommitted from University of Southern California, who just joined the Big Ten. Getting their ass whooped right now, too. But he flipped them. More is coming because the eyes are on University of Colorado. Deion's doing his work, but they don't like it because he's bold and brash. Where other coaches, particularly white coaches, it'll be passion. Nope. He's being, once again, unapologetically himself. I believe a 4-star lineman decommitted from USC too today. I can't remember who the name was. It escapes me at this moment. But more is coming. Give Deion 2 more years. Colorado's probably going to, if not win the national championship, I probably say they'll be in the national championship game. They hating on Deion so much right now that they are trying to force feed him to the NFL. We like to see Deion in the NFL, particularly in Dallas, with my Dallas Cowboys. Let me explain something to everybody. He's not leaving college. He said it. The only way he will leave college is if the Dallas Cowboys draft Delrico Sanders. And that more than likely ain't going to happen because we just paid Dak Prescott $60 million a year. So why would Deion leave Colorado where he's happy and he said he wants to mentor young men to be great men, great fathers, great husbands, and pillars of their community? He's doing what he's supposed to do. The problem is that he's so bold and brash and wears the chains and he talks with a swag and he has charisma all running through his pores. White media and white people don't like that shit. Why can't he be humble? Shut the fuck up. Black people who have confidence irritates people. Irritates white people, I should say. Let's just call it what it is. And once again, don't let my confidence irritate your demons. He will not slow his roll to make someone else feel comfortable. He will not slow his roll to make media feel comfortable. Why should he? And because why should he? Why should all of us? For too long, we, and I'm speaking as black people in America, have so quote unquote humbled ourselves so we don't irritate people's demons. Deion is everything you want to be as a grown-ass man. College graduate, I believe so, check. Takes care of his family, check. Great father of all his children, check. Teaches them the right way, check. Earns a substantial amount of money, check. Uplifts a whole community that's predominantly, dare I say, white, check. Mentors young men to be better men, check, check, checkmate. So what's the problem? What's the problem? Oh, he's black. He wears chains. Y'all love when Kirk Cousins, who's a quarterback for the Atlanta Falcons, no hate on Kirk Cousins, but y'all have a kick when he's swag surfing and wearing chains and made a grill in his mouth or whatever, all that stuff. Y'all got a kick out that. You think it's funny. I think it's funny too. I ain't gonna lie. Go ahead and do your thing, Kirk. But let's flip that. What if Deion did that? Well, I mean, had the grill in his mouth. Y'all will chastise that man. Why is he wearing a grill? because he can. He can get away with it. So why are you hating? Once again, you do not like to see a brash, confident black man. It irritates your demons. So when Deion goes to a bowl, hopefully the Big 12 championship, and even better, the college football playoffs, it's going to stick in your craw. When he starts flipping more 4 and 5-star recruits to come to Colorado, and Colorado all of a sudden is a national powerhouse over the Alabamas and the Georgias and the Ohio States, the Michigans, the Penn States. And I don't know why I keep saying Penn State. They keep losing and shit. LSU's. Because if you notice that all it takes is one. Travis Hunter was the one. Now everybody's looking like, Oh, not to mention he has NFL, former NFL players and NFL assistants on his coaching staff. Pat Shermer. Warren Sapp is the defensive line coach for the University of Colorado, who's pretty much a grad student coach. Deion's got so much influence that Warren Sapp went back to get his degree. And have you seen Warren Sapp on the sidelines? Warren Sapp, who I'm not going to get into it, had his problems. But now Deion said all the man needed was a purpose. Deion is leading men, young men and grown men. And he's doing it unapologetically being himself. And it irritates your demons. Say what it is, sports media. Say what it is, white people. Let me correct myself. I'm not saying all white people. Let's get it, keep it all the way funky. Because there are some in the sports media that say, you know what? Deion is doing a damn great job. Y'all bugging.
Everybody's thinking.
Matter of fact, let me go ahead and play something real quick before I get up out of here.
Even if Deion were to leave, he would be viewed with the utmost amount of love. I asked him point blank last week on Friday, do you want to go to the NFL? He said no. And he said, my purpose is to be a coach, but it is more so to mentor young men. And I don't believe I could do that as my calling and my purpose at the NFL level that I can do that at the college level. We had a long discussion on Friday about Warren Sapp, and Deion said something that was profound and absolutely accurate. And he said the only issue with Warren was that he didn't have a purpose after he got done playing. We gave him that purpose. And then you see Warren on the sideline, and his eyes are big, and he's got the headset on, and he's in it, man, with those kids. And that is something very profound for any of us who have played, athletics at a decently high level, and certainly some of these guys that have gold jackets. And all of a sudden, when the music stops and that merry-go-round stops and you're not Warren Sapp, the defensive tackle, or Deion Sanders, the two-sport star, you've got to find something in your life and some calling and some purpose. Deion found that as a coach, and he's a damn good coach. Even if
that was courtesy of the Herd on FS1. The person that was speaking was Joe Clayt, college football analyst and sometimes commentator. So that's why I had to clarify. It's not all sports media. Those that have common sense see it. You just heard from a prominent analyst out of his mouth. Deion doesn't want to come to the NFL, but ESPN, NFL, FS1, they're going to try to push that narrative. He wants to mentor young men. Now, if Shador gets drafted by Dallas, oh, he might come. But by Julian Lewis committing to University of Colorado, there's reasons for that. He's not leaving Colorado. Why? Again, pushing a narrative. We don't want him in college football. He's too good. So let's hate the chains, the bravado. You know, sports media. That's little dick energy. Little dick energy. I predict Deion within the next 2 to 3 years, if this keeps going the way it's going, he's going to be in the national championship game. And if he does get to the national championship game and win it, all bets are off. Because again, why would he leave Colorado? Why? I bet you Florida State wishes they hired him now. I think Florida State only won 1 game this year, maybe 2. But this is a whole microcosm of society today. That's why I wanted to mention Deion, because when you see a black person, especially a black man that's confident and struts and knows his business and handles his business, stop letting that irritate your demons. This is why Kamala Harris is not president elect and Donald Trump is, because you had to go to a person that, let's be real, you already saw what he did 4 years and it wasn't good. So your fears of Kamala Harris, 2 fears, black and woman, irritated your demons. When the glitch in the matrix happened and Barack Obama happened, it irritated your demons. When you see Deion being successful, it irritates your demons. I forgot the head coach of Notre Dame who's being successful right now. I know deep down it's irritating your demons. But he's doing it a different way. He's a clean cut dude. It's buttoned up basically. Whereas Deion is from the hood, so to speak. He's speaking a language that these kids resonate to. So all in all, peeps, what I'm saying is, using Deion's example, for my black people, strut, goddammit. It's time for us to stop being all, ooh. Put your chest out, strut. Sister, strut. Brother, strut. In this crazy land that we call America, United States of America, they don't want us to strut because it irritates their demons, as I keep saying. They don't like it. Fuck them. Let's do it. Take some examples from Primetime. He's shooing all the demons away and handling his business. And the whole community that is predominantly white loves him for it. You hear me? So with that being said, I'm gonna bounce out of here. Right? Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Once again, as always, Hey Yo with D Shelton is sponsored by Rose Sweets LLC. That's Rose Sweets LLC, the best, cupcakes and cake pops in the DMV area, small based business out of Southern Maryland. The Ro is spelled R-O. You can reach them and see their products at Ro_Sweets LLC on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also reach them at rosesweetsllc@gmail.com. They do deliver for minimum orders. Especially with this time of year, you're going to want some sweets. Also, big shout out to Riverside.fm for giving me this platform to get it to the masses so you can hear what I got to say on Apple, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D Shelton. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. You can reach me on 2 of my platforms. That is Hey Yo, exclamation point with D Shelton on TikTok. You can also reach me at Hey Yo D Shelton dot B like boy, S like Sam, K like kite, Y like yellow dot social on Blue Sky. With that being said, as I always end my programs, and more than ever, this holds true. May Father and the ancestors take care of you, your loved ones, or anybody else you care about. I will see y'all when I see y'all. Peace.